Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoterica. Merry Christmas to everyone watching this on the morning of the 25th. Every single year I do a holiday special, and of course we're doing Die Hard Arcade this year because it is not Christmas if John McClane does not show up in one of my videos. But all jokes aside, we're going to have fun with this one, talk about the MiSTer FPGA Sega Saturn core, and kind of update you guys on what's going to be happening on the channel next year, because I figured what better time to talk about the future than on Christmas Day, just for the diehards, pun very much intended, that want to watch this episode. Before we get too far involved, it is Christmas Day. Go down below and hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate it. But honestly, every single year I talk about a Die Hard arcade game, and this year is not going to be any different. I've done so many different Die Hards, but honestly the best game has got to be Die Hard Arcade. We're playing it today on the MiSTer FPGA core in part. I switched over to MAME a little bit in the video to kind of just credit scum my way to the end. But honestly, it's been such a fun year on the channel, and I can't believe another year has gone by. Everyone who subscribed, everyone who hit that notification bell, thanks so much for making 2024 the biggest year on the channel. I'm hoping that I can say the same thing at the end of 2025, but at this point in time I am running out of Die Hard games to talk about, so if you have any other Die Hard recommendations, definitely leave them down below. And covering MiSTer FPGA this year has been such a big component of the channel, as it has in years past, but watching the Sega Saturn core evolve in front of our eyes to the point in time where something like Die Hard Arcade is infinitely playable and feels like playing on the real Sega Saturn console itself has just been so much fun. It is wild to think 2025 is almost upon us, and we've been talking about the Sega Saturn core for almost 18 months now. And of course, what better game to celebrate Christmas than this one right here? And honestly, the Christmas episodes are mostly just for me, and I'm going to spoil some upcoming series for 2025 throughout the video, so if you want to know what we're going to be doing, at least in part, definitely keep watching. But trust me, for everything I show you, there's probably 2 things I've made that you're not going to find out about until we actually get to those episodes later on in next year. But again, Die Hard Arcade is just an absolute classic, and it legitimately is a game I play every single Christmas, including watching the Die Hard movies. It is just a tradition in my family when I was growing up as a kid, and now begrudgingly my wife will watch Die Hard with me every other Christmas. That is the deal we made. And you know I love beat 'em up, so maybe, just maybe, in 2025 you'll be watching a 10-part series on my favorite beat 'em ups of all time, both hidden gems and common games, because you know it's a genre I love, so it just might be something you see next year. And honestly, what game lets you fight in a bathroom and fight a man in just his underwear that comes out of the stall? Only Die Hard Arcade. While I don't remember that from the original movie, damn it, it is a fun time here. And that really is what these Christmas episodes are about, just my way to have fun and to make a nonsense video, kind of like I do with the Super Sega FPGA stuff. I've been trying to be a little bit more creative on the channel this year, covering new topics like the Nintendo lawsuits, the Super Sega FPGA stuff, and other retro gaming news, and I hope you have enjoyed that. It has definitely brought a lot more eyes and a lot more views to the channel, and a lot more subscribers. So if you subscribed this year or recently, leave me a comment down below and let me know about it. I'm always curious to find out how you found the channel and why it is you keep coming back for more, because views are up, subscriptions are up, all of the metrics are good, and I hope I don't jinx myself, but I plan on continuing that in 2025, unless YouTube, the man in the underwear right there, comes out and kicks me in the face and decides to change the algorithm, because that is always a fear and a risk. And honestly, if your Christmas isn't like this, fighting giant robots, you are doing it wrong. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, hopefully you can recommend me a Hanukkah video game down below, because I will do that as well. I love holiday themed videos. They just make me happy, and it gives me an excuse just to kind of be a little bit more ridiculous on the channel than I normally am. But it's Christmas morning, and that's all about making yourself happy, and for me it's just being a little bit funny and a little bit weird. And speaking of Christmas Day, what are you guys having for dinner tonight? I absolutely love to cook, as does my wife, and we're doing a braised French guinea fowl with all of the different sides would be appropriate for that, kind of a classic recipe. And don't forget, beat 'em ups definitely have punches and kicks, but in Die Hard Arcade you also have firearms, which means this is a shooting game, or a shoot 'em up, or a shmup if you will. So maybe, just maybe, you'll be seeing a 10-part retrospective on my favorite cave bullet hell shmups of all time in 2025, because they have great soundtracks. I've loved them, and the other game that has a great soundtrack is Die Hard Arcade. Pretty cheap segue there, but go ahead and listen and I'll be right back. Honestly, I absolutely love the soundtrack of Die Hard Arcade. It's some of the best music I feel like Sega ever put to their Saturn arcade games. And honestly, the soundtrack sample is going to be something that continues into 2025 and so long as this channel exists, because I absolutely love talking about video game music and just how much it can actually impact the overall gameplay experience. But I'm sure you guys love the soundtrack samples. For the most part, people really do like talking about it. And don't forget, Die Hard Arcade might be a beat 'em up game, but you can also pick up a salt and pepper shaker and put pepper into somebody's face and actually kill an enemy that way. And it comes with a big bad villain as well, just like Time Crisis does, which means maybe sometime in 2025 we'll be watching a full Time Crisis retrospective, playing every single game in the Time Crisis franchise, because you know, if there's something I love, it's an arcade light gun game, because we've done a lot of racing in 2024, so we're probably going to be changing up to different genres in 2025. And at least for me personally, that is the fun thing about the channel, is I really just talk about on the mainline series what it is I'm in the mood to talk about. All the videos you watch in the morning, for the most part, outside of the MiSTer FPGA updates, are things that I can make in advance and don't have any changes in them, where the 4 p.m. videos are always going to be more topical on what's going on with current events, whether it's Super Sega, whether it's stuff like Nintendo suing people, new game releases, new ROM hacks and translations. I really enjoyed this balance between having the mainline series that are pretty much consistent and the ones that change all the time. But definitely recommend me some ideas for retrospectives and other series down below, different hardware, genres, even developers. I really like playing around with the idea, and trust me, I've got so many written down. I could probably make video game esoterica for the next 10 years and still not actually run out of topics as far as my imagination is concerned. And that is the other channel update. As far as all the stats are concerned and all of the growth, I have absolutely no plans on ending this anytime soon, because honestly the channel really is my creative outlet, because I am a filmmaker, but anything I do outside of this is usually for a client and usually has very strict guidelines around it, where here I can do absolutely everything I want. I can talk about some of the best video games of all time, or I can talk about the Atari Jaguar, so maybe you'll see a little mini retrospective on the best games on Jaguar in 2025. As we drop back into this office building here and grab this gun, again, Die Hard Arcade is just the type of title that makes me happy, and that's what this channel is basically predicated on, talking about things that I just enjoy. And the best part is you come to find out that so many people out there like the exact same stuff as you do. I've been able to introduce a ton of people to a ton of different games they've never heard of before, showcase some rare hardware, release some games that have never been playable before, and just basically help people have fun, because that's the only reason I enjoy video games and collecting them. At the end of the day, it's a hobby that entertains me. I get to talk to like-minded people, I get to play the video games I grew up on, and I get to talk about it on YouTube. And as far as a hobby is concerned, there's absolutely no complaints as of that. And that's why I really like doing these Christmas episodes, especially with the channel updates. You kind of get a little bit of a look behind the curtain to see what's actually going on. And again, I've got a list for 2025 of things I still need to complete, but honestly, it's just so exciting to actually kind of future plan those. And as far as unported playlist is concerned, you can believe it or not, I have every single Monday already scheduled and made for 2025. But of course, I've got some secrets out there as well, maybe a Darkstalkers retrospective as well, a short one but a fun one indeed. And I'm just telling you some of the things I want you to know. I've got so many other ideas that I've either already made or I'm in the process of making, just so you guys can enjoy some more content. It's been a lot of fun to talk about, and the last tease I'm going to give you is maybe, just maybe, like this armored firefighter, you might see another character that loves to wear armor coming up next year. And this again is just a taste. I've probably only revealed about 40% of all of the things I'm working on, and I will continue to work on new stuff in my spare time. But it is Christmas. John McClane is fighting Hans Gruber here, or at least what he's supposed to be in the game, and that is how every single Christmas should start and begin. You have to see Hans Gruber fall off the Nakatomi Tower, or it's not actually the holiday season. And I love the villain's actual lair here as well, with all of those different things that come out of the wall that can actually hurt John McClane. Die Hard Arcade is just one of those games. Absolutely every single time I play it, I have a giant smile on my face. From the first time I encountered this in arcades, growing up in Vermont, to today, I probably played this game maybe 30-40 times, and every time I play it, 100% absolutely hits. Dad joke pun, incredibly much intended. It is just one of those classic games that I'll probably play at least once a year, so long as my hands don't have arthritis in them and I can still hold a controller. But this has been the Christmas episode and channel update episode. As the helicopter rides off into 2025, don't worry, I've got a full list of holiday videos coming up, and of course you're not going to miss out on anything. But Merry Christmas, and if you don't celebrate, Happy 25th. Bye-bye.